Papa Joe loves a good purge of his country. The timing of that question was superb, it was. A little bit concerned about this conflict though, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to win that. Though I am bringing in more and more troops. Escalating it ever so slightly. This does rather suggest the point that I need to get radios though, soon. Hindenburg blew up. Bit disappointed that it's just across this though. Why is he not getting involved? Oh! I didn't even realise that there's a separate army for it. Can't give direct orders to units, remove divisions from the army, replace the chain of command. Great, so you chose my worst commander to do this. Well, a level 2 only. And you're attacking over a river? Yeah, I've never done a border war before, this is completely new to me. And it's 6. Alright, had I known that, I would have stopped these two marching up. And I probably would have used a better unit than that. Oh well. Alright, so, return. Aren't those the worst divisions? 2 of them are. So basically the only thing which can win me this conflict now is if the Soviets purge. Before this ends. I can't even give them the never surrender order, so we've lost this conflict already. It's over. Following a clash between Soviet and Japanese forces in the border area around Lake Khasan, the Japanese ambassador in Moscow has requested a ceasefire. Several Japanese assaults on Soviet positions failed with heavy casualties during the battle, raising concerns of the Japanese military and the capabilities of our forces. You don't get to pick the units, the game does it for you. Well, great. Oh well. I'll just attack them myself later. There we go, join London Naval Treaty. I can modify the government again, but I'll do that in a moment. Non-aggression with China. Though our relations with China have historically been strenuous, to say the least, we now need a non-aggression pact with them to help free up troops for our northern push. And we could modify the government. War industrialists, so we could build some more military factories. Or we could start actually getting some combat people. Like the attrition or the infantry commander. Not sure that we... Well, the tank designer could be good for the time that we get the medium tanks, although it's only a +5 reliability. That is pathetic, quite frankly. We could do the Aichi upgrade so we can get better heavy fighters with their range and reliability. And the tactical bomber upgrade. Except I would be relying heavily on aluminium imports, which we could probably get because the trade with the US and France isn't going to be interrupted. Curiously, the failure of the border conflict with the Soviets put the fear of the god into the Japanese military and encouraged them to advance southwards rather than northwards. So they felt the European colonies were much easier to target than taking on the Soviets. Huh. Didn't realise it was a real thing. Yeah, we're still industrialising right now, so we'll take the industrialist. Yeah, well, Zhukov's first big success. Zhukov! Grr. I also love how we were attacking across a river rather than from here. Why? Alright, so how are we doing with the surpluses? We have a pretty good surplus. So I think I'm going to train up some more Hohai Shidans. Or we could start training these guys. No, I think we're just going to train some more of these. Another 10. We'll take some more resources to get that going, but we'll queue them up. And then maybe some more motorized? In fact, yeah, let's go 5 of those. And 5 motorized? That's too expensive. We'll go with 3 motorized. Because border wars are poorly designed, apparently. Oh, and right, you stole my troops and then had a bunch of them die. So you guys, I assume... No, you can't have been with... You were with them, weren't you? Yes, you were, which is Korea. And these 3 were in... Hello? That unit. Merely Alhart disappear, so Alhart and Hindenburg went wrong. They're okay once you get the hang, but there's no information on how they work. They seem extremely exploitable. And yeah, lack of information. I could probably do with buying in some more steel. No, I want to keep on civilian factorying up. And then the other decisions are whether I can expand these. Oh, I need excavation 2 or 3 for those ones. Okay. So that would be more aluminium, more tungsten, more oil. How am I actually doing for oil and stuff? Oh, here we go. Soviet purges. This is a 70 day. So 140... 180, 250 days before I can declare war. And how long do the purges last? About 3 or 4 years. Yeah, we're going to have about 3 years of purge wartime. They will improve over time. I can attack Stalin again. No, I don't think so. Oh, I can break the treaty. What's that do? Means they all hate me more. The outrageous restrictions on the London Naval Treaty is a threat to the security of our nation. We must have the freedom to build a navy that can stand up to any nation that would challenge what is rightfully ours. We'll wait until we'll reward the Soviets. So what am I actually losing out on? Yeah, all the steel losses are for shipbuilding, which just finished. We have plenty of convoys, so I think we're just going to continue building more heavy cruisers or battleships, I would say. How are we doing for carrier aircraft? We have a couple of surplus carrier aircraft. In fact, I'll probably need to set up another air wing for that. So yeah, we're going to continue building some more battleships. And with that in mind, we should go to our navy. And go to the Soryu. In fact, no, we can just do it in here. Soryu wants far fewer fighters. 18? No, 15. And then 40 bombers. And there we go. Scotland will still get stomped by England. Wait, what? Oh, right. Tried the new E4 immersions. Funny how it's buffed everyone around England, made England seem weaker. Which is good. I kind of like that England has more of a challenge, like, especially Scotland. Scotland historically was a functioning and threatening nation until like 17 something. So the fact that England usually wipes them out in the 1500s is kind of ridiculous. So the fact that Scotland is actually a threat now in EU4 is fantastic. Couldn't be happier. Even as someone who does like to play as England, because I like the naval game, having your northern partner actually able to, like, hold you off, brilliant. Alright, let's get radios. China accepts the non-aggression. Excellent. So we now have a formal non-aggression with China. So, oh, why can't I do this? Oh, I need to have at least 2,000 infantry equipment in the bank. Ah. Well, we'll cancel you and we'll cancel you. In fact, screw it. We're going to cancel more. There we go. Manchukuo will be the forefront of any northern war. We must ensure they are strong enough to take on any potential enemy threats. Okay, then the next focus is the Air Force, so I suspect we need spare aircraft. Nope, they just need to be a subject. Well, alright then. I missed the Chinese military music from the last game. Or I'll just turn off weighted shuffle. We immediately get the English one, of course we do. There you go. Is that better? Form raiding regiments. Form special air landing. What are the raiding regiments? And more to the point, where? Oh, there they are. Replace interstate rivalry, army strengthened with army dominant, which gives military even more of a bonus. Special forces capacity multiplier plus 2%. I'm not really building any special forces just yet, so I'm not too bothered by it. Meanwhile, at the British consulate in Tokyo. Well, the British like us at the moment because we signed up for the London Naval Accords. Still 37. We're actually getting a surprising amount of technology done at the moment. We could probably do with the heavy fighters. I will need to build those at some point. I'm also very tempted to go for the modified synthetic refinery for rubber. Let's go for the fighters first. I like the army versus navy decisions, good mechanic. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about what happens if I go for dominant. What are the other options? Prioritize army aircraft, close air support, tactical bomber building, and also more military factory stuff. Oh, that's more recruitable population. And then this one is Special Forces multiplier. These Special Forces attack and defense, factory output, dockyard output. So the draft exemptions brings it back to balanced, and it increases the dockyard output. Well, my dockyards are doing naff all right now because I just don't have the steel for it. And then that's a bonus for carrier fighters and carrier anti-air. Oh, am I building carrier fighters? Yes, I am. So actually that wouldn't necessarily be a bad option, because I'm not building any land-based aircraft right now. Nah. Really hoping the next one you Paradox do a HRE. I would really like to see Spain get some love. Like, a couple of people have been saying that Spain hasn't been touched for a long time, and it's true. Spain could really get a bit more. And yeah, I agree. It's a nice flag. I'm almost kind of wishing that I was staying with the fascists, though. I kind of fancied having a big naval war. Especially to fight off the Americans, see if I could do it. Especially on elite. They should be able to just outright outproduce me. But then again, the AI sucks with navies. Nothing says I can't go after them later, that's true. Oil processing is done, so we should be producing a surplus. So of course I am now making a loss. Why? Oh, probably because I'm investing even more in the battleships. Battleships are expensive. Yeah, that battleship is extremely expensive, so no wonder I'm losing resources. Okay, I'm going to feel less bad about it now. It's still at the bottom of my construction queue. October 37. Concentrated industry so we can get some more output. Probably artillery. Have I tried the Fallout New Vegas mod for Hearts of Iron? No, it looks interesting, but needs more. America has some sick penalties at the start of the game, I know, but they get ridiculous. I mean, if you want to see me really tackling the problems that America has, go and watch the Bundeswehr Bob game that I have. Sorry, the game with Bundeswehr Bob that I have on my channel, which you can find at youtube.com/Mordred Viking. Which is here. Where Bob and I take on the USA in a co-op game. Something a little bit different. We're playing as the same nation. It's kind of interesting how things kind of just get divided up and how we kind of take to the different aspects of the game depending on our own strengths and weaknesses. It's been an interesting game, that one. And bad things may or may not happen. Rastaster, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. Transpolar flights. That's nice, Joe. That's very nice. Build up Manchurian army. Done. Right, next up, we want the Manchurian Imperial Air Force. Oh, we get air bases. In fact, we get a silly number of air bases if we do this. Kirin, Jehol, Haigenkiang, and 4 others gain 2 air bases. Hell yeah. Air superiority will be key to winning the war. If Manchukuo had their own air force, we would go a long way to improving our own air situation. Interesting. That means that this doesn't need to happen anymore. Probably. And also I can deploy some of my infantry. Go ahead and deploy here. Make that just the 1 unit. Start training. Motorized, pretty much ready as well. 1 unit. And we'll add you to the same group, essentially. Train up! Would be good for the Kaiser in World War One. You could have one person organising the force on the Western Front, the other on the East. Yeah. I like co-ops in Hearts of Iron 4 because Germany would normally be co-op and multiplayer because you can't keep up with everything. True, but if you have just one player then you can kind of focus more on 1 or 2 aspects. Never mind taking on the Allies. A focus on the way to war with the Soviet Union forces you into the Axis. You can just join that whenever. That is a very good point. I had not considered that. So yeah, it looks like we'll be doing it anyway. Well, if that does happen then, yeah, we're getting rid of the London Agreement. Oh, we could do the region-wide industrial integration. This just adds a building slot. It will cost me 100 political power to do. And it's basically converting 100 political power into 1 build slot. Not really worth it. Not while I have so many others available for construction. Could really do with some more civilian factories. Let's get these built first. So we can get another 5 going. Then we can more rapidly industrialize everything else. I'm relatively happy with my military output currently. Motorized is a bit low, but we did just deploy another 2 large units. So we could go up to a 30 combat width as well. Adding in artillery. Field hospitals would only really require... No, we can't afford those. We can, however, afford that. Do it. Although this is making my units heavier and heavier for when we go after the Soviets, which maybe not necessarily be a good idea. That's a good late game decision, especially for building slot limited nations like Italy. Yeah, absolutely. But there's no point doing it until you are out of building slots. I get what it's for. It's good for expanding your industrial potential. Why are you going auto? You should be going to the Neon Navy. Italy announces claims on Yugoslavian territory. Uh-oh. And the oil amounts have gone down again. Oh, that's because I'm building more and more refineries. I think I build like 2 or 3 of them now. Yeah, we're generating 19. Oh, and of course those would be further modified by infrastructure, because they are a resource. Interesting. Okay, so I can modify the government again. I don't think I want another political advisor. I might want the aircraft designer, especially if I can get that before we actually research the heavy fighter, because that's going to give me ridiculous range. It was you. Which I like the idea of, actually. Oh, I can't. Has completed focus, range focus. The hell is that? Oh, it's probably over here. Range focus. There it is. Okay, so we're not going to have it for the 36s. In which case, I think I might go for the army logistics or the infantry. Either and or both of those. I'm going to go with the attrition. Means that we're less reliant on the industry early on. Whenever I've played board games of World War II, Third Reich, World in Flames or whatever, there's always been a convention the Italian player runs the Western Front in Africa, including German units there, once the war in the USSR started. Works well to balance the load, as running Eastern Front and German economy is a major burden. Yeah, I can see that. It's not a bad idea. Because if you have one commander in one area, you can kind of get one central vision, then they can apply their forces accordingly, rather than having kind of a hodgepodge. Unless you really know someone and you know you work well with them. So yeah, it's a good choice. Elastic defense, more organization, tank speed, reinforce rate. Ooh, nice. Manchurian Imperial Air Force is done. So we're going to go technological exchange, preemptive war, we'll declare war, and then we'll start on the fighter modernization, which requires one of these, which is probably going to be the army expansion. Although having more... no. Wait. 50% research bonus for super heavy battleships. I don't usually build those. That might change my mind. In fact, yeah, having a completely Navy-focused Japan with super heavy battleship production bonuses? Ooh. Ooh. That sounds rather good. Alright, so we're going to go technological exchange. We require allies to take on the bear. Germany is not only a good candidate, but also has ample technological advances that could be shared with us to aid in our fight. How's Germany doing? Anschluss. They're about to get Austria. Can I annex Manchukuo yet? No. Close, but not quite. So you get minus 400 from building up the army. Is that ticking? No, but what I could probably do is build some factories in Manchukuo, then I could do it. How much does it cost? It would cost 261 political power as well. But that could be pretty potent. Can lend lease them gear. Yeah, I know, I'd rather have them under my control. And I gain more political power thanks to my, what's he called? Backroom dude person. It is January 38. So I'm going to say the computing machine is probably the way to go.